Port Adelaide is the latest AFL club to embark on a new succession plan, one that will see Ken Hinkley, who is entering his 13th season as power coach, hand over the reins to midfield and senior assistant coach Josh Carr. He'll be the Power's newest coach in over a decade and lead the team beyond 2026. The coaching succession plan is not commonplace yet, but it does make sense on a few levels. Recent times have seen it implemented more than ever in the competition, so in the grand picture, are they successful or a waste of time? Instead of going through each of the individual club succession plans and pinpointing the minute details, there are a few clear trends that we can directly relate to Port Adelaide's current situation. The first is the state of the club at the time of the handover. Normally, if the club is in poor shape or with an average list, not much can be done. Essendon, which had John Worsfold hand over to Ben Rutten at the end of 2021, has been the least successful out of the modern day examples. The board at this time was still not secure, and despite a finals appearance in 2021, it went downhill very quickly. Rutten was sacked at the end of 2022 after just 6 wins in the season, and there was more board upheaval. Was it the right environment for a clean succession plan? Well, in hindsight, no. Especially when directors and those with influence at the club wanted to go in a different direction after just 2 seasons with Rutten as senior coach. This doesn't seem to be the state at Port Adelaide, which is a good thing. But surprisingly, the other handovers have been relatively successful and come from 2 types of clubs. One's coming off a premiership or multiple winning seasons, and those about to enter a new rebuild or have an emerging list. Malthouse to Buckley and Roos to Longmire fit in the winning team category. Malthouse's last season at the Pies in 2011 saw them win 20 games and just lose 2 in the home and away season, making a second straight grand final and losing to Geelong in the decider. It gave Buckley an already confident and strong team to inherit. Roos's last season at Sydney, which was in 2010, saw the club win 13 games and win a final before losing to the Western Bulldogs at the semi-final stage. Again, they had a strong team that instantly gave Longmire some pieces to work with. Longmire won 13 total games in his first season, including a final, and was able to get to his first grand final a year later in 2012, where they defeated Hawthorn. From that point onwards, the Swans missed finals just twice under Longmire and made 4 other grand finals. Buckley had a similar start. His first 2 seasons had 16 and 14 wins each, with 4 total finals games, and with a rejuvenation of the list after 2013, there was a dip. Now Buckley was lucky to hold on to his job after 2017, but he adapted, changing his coaching and relationship strategy with his players, and ended up getting to a grand final in 2018 and a prelim in 2019. Overall, both were great appointments for their clubs and showed the succession plan system can work. And the other type of successful handover is with the rebuild or the up-and-coming teams. It's rumoured Tasmania might try this approach. For example, hire Chris Fagan for 2 years and then hand over to Scott Pendlebury after the team initially gets established. This is what GWS did with Kevin Sheedy, who coached the team in 2012 and 2013, then passing on the coaching role to Leon Cameron. And the other 2 similar examples include Melbourne and most recently Hawthorn. Paul Roos again coached Melbourne for 3 seasons when they were terrible, and he did a terrific job fixing the culture and giving the club stability. At the end of 2016, he handed the reins to Simon Goodwin, who has been senior coach ever since. Then at the Hawks, their initial plan had Sam Mitchell taking over from Alistair Clarkson at the end of 2022, but due to complications, Mitchell actually took over a season earlier than expected. Now Mitchell began his own rebuild, featuring many of the players he coached at Box Hill in the VFL. And while Goodwin didn't necessarily rebuild Melbourne's list like Mitchell has, he did merge his tenure with guys like Petrarca, Oliver, Salem and Viney, who were going into their prime years when he officially became senior coach. All three of these examples have worked out. Cameron got the Giants to their first grand final in 2019, and they were a perennial top 4 and top 8 team when he was in charge for his 8 full seasons. Goodwin helped the Demons break their premiership drought in 2021, and besides a shaky 2024 and first couple years into the job, Melbourne have been a good team. And then Sam Mitchell has re-energised the Hawks into a young team full of flair, and going into this season, no side has as many eyes on them as the Hawks. So where does current day Port Adelaide fit in this mix? Well, Port Adelaide, compared to these previous teams, are a little bit unique. Do they fit in the successful team category? In a way. They have made top 4 of the past 5 seasons, but have faltered in big finals and have not reached a grand final under Ken Hinkley. But you can also fit them in the rising and up-and-coming teams category. A core of Rosie, Butters and Horne-Francis will last a decade plus, and any team with that star power will be good. Throw in Jace Burgoyne, Miles Bergman and Mitch Georgiades as some of their other younger talent, and this Port Adelaide squad has a lot for Carr to work with. He won't be inheriting a bad list or a club that has severe dysfunction at all, and that's really important. When he joined Port Adelaide for the 2023 season, he was assigned as midfield coach and put together their current on-ball unit, giving full-time roles to Rosie and Butters, who at that stage were still used a large amount of the time in the forward line. Carr since his arrival has also been up in the box, while Hinkley has been on the bench, and from the outside looking in, it's reasonable to say Carr has had the tactical controls over Port Adelaide for a while. On the other side of things, Hinkley has been more of the man manager. But clearly Port's hierarchy sees something in Carr. The plan was revealed well before round 1 and means Port Adelaide in 2026 and beyond will be in a new era of sorts, the first for a decade. Comparing with other succession plans of late, Port Adelaide is set up well, both off the field and with their list. Carr will have one more season as an assistant to learn the trade from Hinkley, and Kenny has one last crack at trying to get Port Adelaide beyond that preliminary final stage.